Hi beautiful souls, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a really chill little chat. I'm going to be talking about multiple things, just gratitude and how I'm feeling lately as far as like my practice and feeling like I have enough, as well as talking a little bit about some of my plans and goals for 2025. I don't have a ton, but I just thought we would talk about that a little bit. And yeah, just kind of a chill little chat. So the first thing I wanted to show you guys was this beautiful mug. It says, "Wouldst thou like to live deliciously?" And it has Black Phillip on it from The Witch. And it's a really nice big mug. It's from the brand Disturbia. I have green tea in it, so it looked a little bubbly and weird. Um, but I have been in that mood lately of like folk witch, just like dark, wintry, moody. That's like the mood I have been in and the mode I've been in. So I thought this mug was perfect. I last week had something kind of devastating happen to me, and I know it might sound silly with like just everything else going on in the world, but I lost quite a bit of sentimental items that I was saving for like years and years. They were like mostly clothing items from high school that had like my high school name on it. And I had been saving them for so long, like for my future kids, because more than likely they will go to the same school I did. And it was just really sad because they got donated by accident. And it was like really hard for me, harder than I feel like it would have been if I didn't have a child on the way. It was like all this time I've been saving them for like a metaphorical future child, and now that I actually have one on the way, they're all gone. So it was really devastating. I ended up buying this mug as like a uh I was feeling sorry for myself little present. I don't want to spill my drink, but that's what it looks like. Really nice, beautiful mug. And I ended up watching the movie The Witch uh, later in the week. So I just really love the movie. If you guys have seen it, I actually watched it when it first came out. I would have been, it was about 10 years ago it came out. And I didn't love it the first time I watched it. I was coming at it more of a from a perspective of trying to get scared, and it's not really a it's not a gory movie. It's not a it's not a it's not something that has like a ton of jump scares or anything like that. It's more atmospheric and spooky in that way. And I've seen it several times since then and I love it now. It's one of my favorite kind of just I don't know, it's like it's for the aesthetic, it's for the vibe of the scary movie. It's not to feel scared necessarily. So really enjoy that movie. I'm excited to see Nosferatu at some point. I don't know if I'll be able to see it in theaters, but anyways, um I with like all of that, it's funny because one of my kind of inner goals that I had thought a lot about to myself was to care less about having so many items in 2025, which has kind of been an ongoing goal for me over the past few years, is to just try and cut down on consumption, which I definitely feel like I have, and just be grateful for what I do have and not feel like I need every little new thing. And so that's been an ongoing thing. And I definitely wanted to embody that more in 2025. So it was just funny that that happened with me losing all of that stuff around the time I was thinking about these resolutions and things. So it was just funny. Um, and I am going to be showing you some decks in today's video that I have gotten for myself recently. And just kind of talk about how fulfilling working with them is, as well as working with things that I've already had for a while. And, just that I have more than enough in my collection. I really do. Um, so what do I want to talk about first? I want to talk about this table for a minute. So this beautiful wooden table that I'm sitting at here, I got this idea because I had been feeling a little bit sad that I didn't have a designated like filming spot anymore. My desk is where I usually would film, and it got moved into another room to prepare for baby. And the lighting in there is just atrocious. I love to sit in front of a window when I'm filming or when I'm doing my readings or just to meditate. I love to view nature as I'm doing that. And the room that my desk got moved into is very like dark, and the window is not anywhere near the desk type of a thing. So I was feeling a little down about that. So I got an idea to have like a little mini table. I was looking up some ones online, and they were all like $60 or more for like a little meditation table, a little like altar space. I was looking for something that was small. Like I was looking at foldable tables, things that I could easily move around so that it could be not a stationary place. It would be something I would move around to different parts of my house. And again, they were just really expensive. And so I had an idea to kind of make my own. So I went into Hobby Lobby and I found these little like metal hairpin legs, and they're 10 inches, which is really nice. I've tried to have like little altar tables in the past using like coffee table type tables that were just a little bit too high up, and they didn't feel like the right height. Um, and I love to sit on the ground. It's just something I've always done since I was little. I like to sit on the ground more than like a couch or anything else. I mean, I do my fair share of sitting on the couch, but I love to sit on the floor. It's just so grounding to me. It's comfortable to me. And when I'm doing readings or when I'm meditating, I love to sit on the ground. So that's why I wanted a pretty short table to actually sit at. So I found these little hairpin legs at Hobby Lobby, and then I was thinking about a top, and I actually found this really nice. This is a cutting board, actually. It's pretty large, and it has little handles here on the sides that are out of frame. Um, and my husband was able to screw the legs into the coffee table, and it's this really nice already finished wood. It's a thick piece of wood, so I didn't have to do any kind of staining or painting or anything. And what's really cool about this is that it's portable, so I can move it from room to room when I can't be in one room or whatever. I just felt like, especially with a baby on the way and maybe spending my time in different parts of the house at different stages of growth of the little one, that having this portable table would be really nice to have as an altar space, a meditation space. I can move it outside when the weather's nice to be able to sit at. It's just really changed the game for me in the new year so far, of having someplace designated to come sit down at and do ritual and do readings. And it's been just, I'm so grateful for it. I'm so grateful I have this. It's really just changed my practice and allowed me to actually practice and do the things that I need to do and want to do for my spirituality. When I felt like before I was kind of just struggling with where to practice, if that makes sense. And I do actually have this beautiful like crochet little, it's actually a table placemat that I've been using on here as like a altar cloth, but I just have it off right now because I wanted to show you guys the actual like wood top. Um, but yeah, it's been really beautiful because even if I move it from space to space, it's still the same um, surface that I'm doing my ritual on and things like that. And I have a beautiful, large French door situation in my living room, and the windows on the French door go all the way down to the floor essentially. So if I'm sitting down, I can see outside right here, which is really beautiful. And then I think one of the places I might keep it a lot of times is going to be my son's room, just because my plan is to have a big open like floor space in there, and most of the furniture and things are going to be on the perimeter, so I'll have a nice place to sit in there since he won't be using it very much in the beginning. So I'm just really grateful for this space. I have been pretty much without fail, like coming in here every morning in my living room and doing readings for myself, journaling for myself, doing ritual for, whatever moon phase it is. And it's been really healing to me. And it's just really upped my spirits in a way that I haven't experienced a lot during this pregnancy. So, anyways, really grateful for that. And it's just like little things like that that have been making my day. Um, and especially, so I want to talk a little bit about the fires and stuff going on in California. I know that a lot of people lost everything. And so that's really put things into perspective for me of like, yeah, I might have lost stuff that was important to me, but I know others out there are suffering way more and they've lost literally everything. And I know that doesn't like negate my experiences necessarily, but I just, my heart goes out to those who have it way worse than I do. So I'm grateful for what I do have. I have been just like walking around my house a lot lately and looking at all the little spots that I've created, like decorating and just curating different items and putting things together with colors. And I just really love the space I've created, like aesthetically and the vibe. And I'm really happy with all of the work that's gone into this house that, I've done decorating it. Um, my husband has done all of the actual hard work, but I'm just proud of what I've done to make it feel like a home. And so I'm just I'm just happy with a lot of the things that I have. So, yes. I'm also really grateful to have a good book. So, I'm currently reading on my big Kindle. I've been really into my big Kindle lately, and um I'm reading Spark of the Everflame, the Kindred's Curse Saga, Book 1. That's a long title here. I'll bring it up there for you. But I'm just really grateful to have a book that I'm enjoying because I find that when I don't have a book that I'm really into, I don't feel as like I don't know, I don't feel like myself. I want to be reading more than I'm spending time on my phone or watching TV or whatever else it is. Like reading is truly relaxing to me, but I need to find like a good book. And I'm just grateful that I found one because my last book I read, I was really into, and then I found out that the next book wouldn't be released until February, and that's not that long to wait, but I thought it was already like an ongoing series, so I was sad about that. Um, so to be able to find a book pretty fast after finishing the one I really, really enjoyed was really amazing to me. I'm at 24% and I only started it like 2 days ago, which maybe doesn't seem like a lot, but I've been sleeping a lot and working and things like that. So really grateful to have a book that I'm enjoying. All right, let's talk a little bit about decks. So I received quite a few tarot decks for Christmas. And while I love tarot decks, I had a lot of oracle decks on my wish list that I didn't receive for Christmas that I ended up purchasing for myself because I have found lately that I do a lot of deep work with an oracle deck and then I kind of just supplement it with tarot or have an added meaning with a tarot deck. For most of my tarot decks, I do have tarot decks that I can deep dive with or that I like to deep dive with, but a lot of times I find a lot of my interpersonal work comes from working with oracle decks. So, one of the ones that I purchased is the Kantaji Oracle. Really beautiful deck. And this deck does feel a little bit more spring-like to me in the energy. So I feel like I'll definitely get some more use out of it when I can spend time in nature, but I have worked with it quite a bit already that I've had it. Really gorgeous. Those are the backs. And it's just, I don't know, it's just kind of weird, kind of quirky, but so deep and so beautiful. And the artwork is this kind of watercolor and it's very organic. And I adore it. The guidebook is one that you have to really like dive into. There's a lot of deep work within the guidebook. Here, I'll show you guys the guidebook quickly. So it's a really thick, chunky guidebook. And what I appreciate about this deck is that when you are pulling from it, you can get multiple beautiful meanings from one card. There's a lot to go through in the guidebook. So, you know, I was pulling little bits here and there when I would pull a card. I love it. And I just love the weird titles. We have the Self-Seeing Eye, the Calving Glacier. What does this say? The setting sun sings the song of unmaking. Sorry, it was hard to see. Charmed Leap. The Dark Solstice Sun. So there is a practice within the guidebook of working through, I believe it's one card a week for the whole year because there's 52 cards. I haven't done that practice. I believe it starts at the winter solstice, so I've kind of missed the time frame there. But I didn't really want to work with it in that way. I wanted to work with it as much as I wanted to, like if it was a daily practice or whatever. But I really, really think this deck is beautiful. And I'll give you guys a little bit of like a little preview here of the guidebook. So for just one card, you have a little bit of like a story here in the beginning. You have keynotes, you have symbology, you have guidance, and then you have as an icon, as a portal, practice, a creative prompt section, and ecological connection section. So quite a bit to work with each card. This is for when you want to spend a lot of time, but even with one card, I don't usually read everything. I kind of skim, or I feel like whatever section is popping out to me is what I really go with. So I see how this could be a weekly deck to work with, because you can use like one little section of the guidebook entries for each day of the week to kind of fully absorb the card. But for like a daily reading or for like a daily journaling session, I've just been pulling kind of one little section that was popping out to me as what I needed from the deck, from the guidebook, and just reading that and going with that. And the tarot deck I want to talk about that I've been pairing with all of these decks is the Pagan Otherworlds, and it looks really gorgeous with this. Pagan Otherworlds just feels very wintry to me, and so I've been using it a lot for that, kind of like the cold, quiet of nature. But it looks really beautiful with this, with the white and everything. I don't know, it's just really gorgeous. Some of these. I mean, look at that. How gorgeous is that together? I mean, the colors, look at that. Look at like the stone color here. It just goes really, really well together. I mean, wow. I don't really know the meaning of this card, but just like intuitively, that means a lot to me. So really gorgeous pairing. I've been pairing this with everything. So we'll be talking more about this deck. But I think this is a really beautiful deep work deck that I can bring into these readings that I've been doing for myself. So love that. And this has been on my wish list for a long, long time, so I'm glad to finally have it in my possession. Okay, and then I bought these next 3 decks all together. And wow. I have 2 here that really surprised me. They all did, but these 2 I feel like were the deep work decks that I'm like, it's just so good and what I'm looking for in my normal, you know, daily journaling practice in the morning. So this is the Bloodlands Oracle. This deck is black and white, and I actually bought it originally to work with the Murder of Crows Tarot because I thought that they would pair really beautifully together, which they do. But again, I've been using it with the Pagan Otherworlds. So this deck's really beautiful. These are the backs, and it's edged in red. And this to me feels like winter. Just the kind of cold black and white artwork. It feels silent. It feels like you are sitting in the quiet snow. Like it's just, it allows room. I don't know. It's not, you know, in the spring or in the summer when like everything's talking, like, you know, you hear the bugs and you hear the birds and you hear all of these beautiful bits of nature. In the wintertime, a lot of that falls quiet. And that is what this deck feels like. It also reminds me a little bit of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, just kind of like the fuzzy artwork here. It's really beautiful. And it's all different landscapes for the most part. It's just really, really gorgeous. I've been so into this. I got this card after I lost all of my stuff and I was thinking about the fires and stuff, and it was just really funny. And then 22, or the number 2, has been really like prominent in my life over the past year or so. I've seen it everywhere, and so it was a really beautiful reading that I did with that card. So really gorgeous. And again, I've been pairing it with Pagan Otherworlds here. And it's just gone really beautifully with that. And I really like that's cool. I really like the guidebook that comes with this deck because it's not super crazy in depth. It kind of just gives you something to work on. So for the Cascade here, which is number 7, we have Momentum, Easing of Tension, and Windfall. And then, so it just has a tiny little bit of a description here, a little like, like if you pull a different card with it, it could mean something different, and then it has a reverse meaning. But this only kind of gives you maybe like 1 or 2 sentences that are like an oracle deck meaning. The rest of it is kind of just up to you, and I do love that the keywords are here because the keywords are very expansive that I've found, and you can work a lot just with those keywords. But it's a really, really beautiful deck that I've been working with, and it's just on those quiet winter mornings, I've been pulling a card, and it's really been beautiful. I love it. So that is the Bloodlands Oracle, which I haven't heard many people talk about. It is newer. It's by Amory Abbott. He also did a tarot deck, which I was going to buy as well, but the cardstock from what I've seen is like super thick and just not, wouldn't be easy to handle. So I didn't end up picking that one up. Okay, so then I ended up picking this deck up because I have been really into like clarifying decks. This is the Inner Eye Oracle by Stephen Bright. And this is a playing card deck, essentially, that has divinatory meanings on it. So I love the backs. Tell me that's not a fortune teller's deck. I love a good eyeball. I have like eyeball-ish art, evil eye stuff like all over my house. It's an obsession at this point. Beautiful red edges, just like the Bloodlands. So I bought these to work together. And I also just bought this deck as a clarifier because I have been working a lot with clarifying decks. And this one is so on point. It's scarily accurate so far in the ways that I've used it. I love reading with playing cards, but I love that this one has the meaning right on it. I pulled a card from the Bloodlands Oracle that was about solitude and rejuvenation and like rest after like something big happening. And I pulled the rest card from this, which was really funny. And I had previously, like the day before, pulled the Four Swords from this deck, so it was just really funny. But I really think this is a good deck. And I've been pulling it into my readings. I haven't been using this all the time, like in every daily reading, but if I need a clarification on something that I'm doing work on in my daily reading, then I do bring this out. And I think it'll be really good for other readings I do, like for others, or for like collective readings I do on my channel, or predictive like readings that I do for the channel, things like that. So just really glad to have this. I don't love the cardstock, but I do actually like the size. It's a little bit bigger than a standard playing card deck, so I do enjoy that. It just feels nice in the hand, and it just looks so good like on your reading table. I don't know, I love it. So I've been working with that, and then I was telling you guys about the Folk Witch thing. So this oracle is like, it's just speaking to my soul right now. So this is the Lost Oracle by Fiona Horn. I have her Magic of You oracle, and it's one of my favorite oracles of all time. And wow. So I pulled this card last night, or the night before. Was it last night? I don't know if it was last night or the night before. It was the night before because I went to bed pretty early last night. But I'll insert a picture of the reading I did because I pulled this with the Page of Wands from this deck. And it just was really beautiful. And I'll show you guys, or I'll read you guys what I wrote in my journal. So this card kind of has like all of these brambles, and she's being suffocated by it. And then the Page of Wands card has, it's like almost being embraced by the nature instead. Let's see. Embrace the wild growth instead of being suffocated by it is what I wrote in my journal. So it's just, they pair really well together. This deck is just, it's gorgeous. Those are the backs. It's edged in black. These two are match made in heaven. This feels like the movie The Witch to me. Like, just so good. So I've been using this in a daily practice, daily journaling practice, and they just look beautiful together. And the guidebook has enough to work with. It's also been scarily accurate to what I'm asking about, or just the reading, or like what's going on in my life at the time that I do the reading. It's really good pair together. And the backgrounds here, wow, look at that. Harvest Ritual, trust the endings in life. But then we have the Four of Wands, like all the abundance here. I love that. The background color kind of changes up a little bit, which I enjoy. Sorry, my deck's like reversed a little bit. I don't know why that happens, but it does. Love that. It just looks really good and works really good together. So I'll move this out of the way for a minute. This is just a really gorgeous deck. If feels like the perfect like folk witch deck. I love it. So just feel really grateful to have this in my practice. And I've been so into this vibe that I made this little like bookmark for my journal. This is my journal right now. It has like all these witchy like good luck symbols on it. I love it. I bought it at Earthbound. I have my pen right here and I've been loving it. I love a good notebook that you can bend like and fold all the way back. I love that because I like to journal like that. So that, oh no, my little bookmark flew out. And I've been starting to write down the decks I use in each reading every day so that I can come back at the end of the year and actually see what my most used decks were. So that'll be fun to reflect on. Okay, so just one of the main little goals I have for myself for 2025 is to work with the new and full moons, which is always, always a goal. So I have them all written down here. I did something really simple. I just have 2025 new and full moons, the silver empress of the night, a little quote I found. And then I just have the full moons listed with like their names. So the wolf moon, the snow moon, whatever, with the date. And then I have my new moons with, I just have the date here with a little checkbox just to check off that I'm acknowledging the new and full moons in some way. I am not holding myself to do any elaborate rituals for each one, but to at least acknowledge it, maybe do a little research as to what that moon, like what sign it's in, what you're supposed to be doing for that time frame, and even just sending a few thoughts that way, or doing a little bath, or whatever it is, but just acknowledging them. I'm not holding myself to a super high standard this year, especially because I give birth in May and it's my first child. I don't know anything about this, so I'm giving myself grace there. Like my main goal is to just make it through pregnancy, make it through childbirth, make it through the newborn phase. Like I just want to absorb all of that because I don't know if I'm ever going to do it again. Like I'm treating this as my first and last baby, so I just want to enjoy as much as I can this year. So this is the main kind of practice goal that I have that I want to stick to. And then, my other goals I have are just to acknowledge that I have enough, bring way less in, let go of a lot of things that I don't need, and just enjoy what I do have. So I'm done buying decks for now, for the most part. I have a deck I want for my birthday that is probably the only thing I'm going to ask for my birthday because it's expensive. It's the Cave of Sybil Oracle, which I really want, but it's like $80 something. So that'll be what I ask for my birthday if it's still around, or if I still want it by then, I think having something like, okay, well, I'll ask for that as a birthday gift is a good little like thought to have in mind, because maybe by the time my birthday rolls around, I won't want it anymore. So I'm being more mindful of my purchases. There is a deck I want to do a study on, but I've been doing a lot of research about it. And so I don't know if I'm going to get that one, but I'm being more mindful of my purchases. Is this something I'm going to use? Is it something I'm going to like? And then just looking at my collection and being like, okay, well, I already have something that fills that purpose, so I can use that instead. So that's one of the main goals, is just working with the moon, because working with the moon is very important to me and it's something that always works for me. So yes. Okay. The last thing I kind of wanted to talk about, and is like a goal of mine in 2025, or something I kind of want to start doing, is little like dedicated deck studies, as just kind of like a daily thing to do if I'm not feeling like doing like a whole reading, but I do want to bring my cards out in some way. to do like a deck study. So I bought this little craft notebook from Walmart for $1. And I want to see how this size does. There's only 30 pages in it, but 60 if it's double-sided. And then I don't know if I would need to use a whole page for each card in a deck. So I'm going to see how this works. I really like the way these look, and you can decorate them. So I don't have an idea of which deck I'm going to use yet for the first time doing this, but one of the options is the Ritual Tarot. So my idea with this is that I would every day pull one of these cards and study it. Write down like my feelings about the card, reading the guidebook, looking at symbolism, things like that. So doing a deep dive with the deck. And then, you know, keeping that card out of the deck, which is not something I normally do. I don't love that. So it would be more of like a study instead of a reading. I do think I want to do my takeaway. Like, I would kind of treat it as a daily reading, but that is a little bit weird to me to see the deck like dwindling because normally if I pull a card from a deck, I'll put that card back in the next day in case I might pull it again, because then the message is reiterated to me. But with this being a deck study, I would have to, you know, keep the cards out of the deck that I pulled already. So anyways, this is one of the options. The other one is the one that I kind of want to purchase. I know I'm talking about not buying a lot of stuff, but it's the Goddess of Love Tarot. If any of you guys have that and have done deep work with it, please let me know. I just feel like I want something a little bit more about divine feminine at this point. And then with like Valentine's Day coming up, I just think it'd be really cute with all the pinks. So we'll see what I end up doing. But yeah, my goal with this is to pull a card pretty much every day and do an entry about it. And just have these little notebooks dedicated to decks in my collection that I want to deep dive and study with. So this is one option, just because I bought this deck in January of last year, so I've had it for a year now, and it feels like a ritual. So I would love to pull a daily card from this and just have a deeper connection with it, of course. I do love this deck, and I've used it quite a bit, but I would love to really sit with each card and really dive into each little symbol or thing that I see. So that's an option. It's really the only option I've thought about in depth of doing this practice with, but I'll definitely update you guys. I want to try to do like favorites videos at the end of every month and reflection videos. We'll see if that happens. I'm not saying that that's going to be a thing. I'm just putting it out there. It's something I would like to do. But yeah, I'll definitely update you guys on how this goes, because I just want to slow down. I want to spend long periods of time with like one deck. So like, I don't know, the Pagan Otherworlds I love, but I've been using it every day as like my daily reader, my daily driver. So I don't want to take that out of the rotation of my daily readings. I would want this deck to be something separate than what I do for my daily kind of readings. So yeah, like I know during maybe the spring, I have an idea of doing the Herb Crafters Tarot, just because I would love to deep dive into that deck. So yeah, but this is a practice that's going to take a long time. Even if I do a daily card, which I'm thinking it'll probably be a little bit like every other day or a little bit longer than that. It'll take 78 days to get through it. So, you know, that's a long time. So I can only do this a few times a year. So I really want to be mindful about the decks that I pick and not get tired of it. So I really want to pick decks that I want to have that deeper connection with, that I know I'll have a deeper connection with, if that makes sense. And then, yeah. So I don't know. That's what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. This was really fun. I'm sorry if it was rambly and didn't make sense at some points, but yeah. And I'm excited to do more sit down like face videos with you guys, because this desk is a perfect place to sit at and just like read. So I can do like Tarot Unsolved at this little desk and film it like face forward. I can do collective readings. I'll probably do some more things like that. So I'm really excited about that. But yeah, I need to go now. I need to take a shower and get ready to go to dinner with my family. So I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.